How do you reach the point when all of your believing becomes one single act of faith in God?
Everywhere can have education and culture for their minds, dignity, equality, and freedom for their spirit.
We need leaders who are more interested in people than in private ambition.
Hello and welcome to Wisdom for Rulership today. My name is Emmanuel Sam. I'm your host, and I hope the month of February 2022 meets you on such a beautiful note. Okay, today I'd like to talk about a subject which we rarely hear in conventional circles anymore. And so we'll be looking at servant leadership authority. Servant leadership authority. That's a strategic wisdom key for leaders in this century. When you look at the world today, you begin to realize that all of the challenges that people grapple with globally is as a result of authoritarianism. The leadership challenges people are grappling with globally are a result of several clandestine orchestrations which have been hidden. Men have had their way for well over 2 to 3 centuries, regurgitating circles, endless cycles of aristocratic leadership patterns that have put people in society in an abstract box, so to say, and has not allowed men to be able to live out their dreams. And so people are grappling with the challenge of trying to see how society can accommodate their noble aspirations within the context of creating value for mankind without having to be locked up in humanly crafted laws and policy systems that kind of stifle their ability to liberate themselves, to manifest that which has been deposited inside of them. And a major reason for this is lack of, the servant leadership model. So when we say servant leadership authority, what do we mean? We mean authority and influence that isn't self-engineered, but that comes from the fundamental principles of self-discovery and the ability to navigate, the several layers of human perspectives and perceptions, thereby creating a harmonious environment and taking advantage of the principle of synergy for the purpose of the corporate good, whether at the family unit or at the national level or at the corporate level, wherever. And this is what people are actually looking for at the moment. You see, the structure of our society does not really allow for people, especially in Africa, to be able to effectively liberate or release their authority into, for the corporate good. And people get frustrated when they don't find a sense of fulfillment. People get frustrated when they don't see a reason to live. The essence of living is giving. The essence of living is sharing. The essence of living is value addition and a symbiotic relationship based on value orientations and collaboration. But people right now are grappling with a lot of issues because they have not been able to see that kind of environment. In most cases, very few cases, people have been able to allow to manifest their authentic authority from within them while contributing to the corporate good. And I believe that a major reason why this is so is because our understanding of the subject of vision has been blurred. Overambitiousness has taken the place of strategic planning and strategic visioneering based on timelines that can be, effectively articulated, result oriented, and purpose driven. But right now, people are once again seeking this concept of servant leadership authority, where people can release their authority without a need for a sense of control, but rather release their authority as a currency for tapping into the authority of others, thereby seeing how, by a synergistic approach, you could work together towards a corporate good. All right, so what is the servant leadership authority? First of all, I would like to speak about the concept of authority. Authority is simply the right to release your originality into creation for the purpose of effective function through your giftings and your calling. I repeat, the capacity to release your authenticity, through your callings or giftings for the purpose of the corporate good. People don't understand the concept of authority without thinking of it as being a position that's being delegated to a person. But that isn't the true meaning of authority. Authority, in the original sense, has to do with the capacity to release your original self, to the capacity to release your, to engineer outward, or to generate outward, that's the right word, to generate outward your authentic self in a way that it is value adding, to generate your authentic self in a way that it is value adding, thereby coordinating the authority of others into submitting to that authority while releasing their own authority for the corporate good. In other words, your authority is supposed to tap into the authority of others. Your authority is supposed to stir up the authority of others. Your authority is supposed to make others discover their own inherent authority. You must understand that authority is first of all inherent before it is positional. Matter of fact, when people do not understand their inherent authority and how it is meant to be worked out, and they are given positions of authority, most often than not, tyranny becomes the end of the experiment. Tyrannical leadership, therefore, which is the opposite of servant leadership, is simply the abuse of authority, is simply the misunderstanding, misconceptualization, and misrepresentation of the concept of authority. This principle of authority is so important. It's a major challenge that must be looked into. In the previous generations, there has been a few role models who have mirrored the servant leadership dimension, but as a result of the tide of events globally, there's been a lot of disillusionment, and so many have come to think that life is more about ruling over people, especially in this age where the global system has made it such that people are grappling for survival more than anything else. Minds have been warped not to interpret life from its original context. And so, as a result of this, what happens? You begin to see that many people are disenfranchised, many people are disoriented. And so, with any little opportunity people have to sit on the authority of others, they quickly take advantage of it as long as it leads to personal gains. And so we must correct the narrative. We must once again go into the archives of truth, setting our moral compass, toward true north, to once again understand what authority is, how authority should be stewarded, and then, of course, inculcates a servant heart for the purpose of the effective stewardship of authority.